Well, hi again, you guys. Welcome to another edition of Curtis Collects Vinyl Records. Maybe you heard me at the very beginning of this as I started to hit the play button on the camera. Maybe you heard the flip-flops flapping. That means it's getting to be summertime down here in the record room, and we're having a little storm pass through on a Wednesday evening before we come into our Memorial Day weekend, the official sort of start of summer. So thought we'd just wait out the storm and make a few episodes. So I was over at a friend of mine's house. My good buddy Joe is a jazz record collector, and he also has some really interesting musical tastes that run into some areas in the 80s and 90s. That a lot of songs that were on his digital playlist that we hear, and I don't know a lot about, but I'm always fascinated to learn. But this isn't certainly one of them. This is, of course, Spandau Ballet. And so we were over at his house, and he has a really terrific hi-fi, and so Joe and Allison decided to put this Spandau Ballet record on, True, and I thought, wow, that's really great. I guess I had no idea that it was really a 6.5-minute song, that song that we all heard back in 1983. A couple of other things that I learned about the band just before we started to hit the play button on this episode. Spandau Ballet contained brothers. Now, there's a really deep history of brothers in various bands throughout the years. The Kinks, the Black Crowes, many others, but didn't know that. So the songs here were all written by Gary Kemp, and his brother is Martin Kemp, who plays bass. So this is the inner liner for True. It's the last song on side 2, so they must have really knew what they were doing when they put their big hit on the last side, on the second side of an album. This you might be familiar with. This is called Parade. And oh, that's really interesting. That's great. Parade. And then this is Diamond. Not sure. So Tony Hadley, Martin Kemp, John Keeble, Steve Norman, and Gary Kemp. I don't recognize really anyone else on this. This was recorded at the studios called Jam Eden SARM, S-A-R-M, which is a, I should know that. SARM is a acronym for a studio at the Air Studios and also at Abbey Road. So that's Diamond. So great. Let's get True going by Spandau Ballet.
So true, funny how it seems, always in time, but never in line for dreams. Head over heels, went toe to toe. This is the sound of my soul. This is the sound. I want to take it to the world, but now come back again. Why do I find it hard to write the next line? Oh, I want the truth to be said. I know this much is true. I know this much is back again. I don't find it hard to write the next line. Oh, I want the truth to be said. I know this much is true. I know this much is true. 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 This much is true.
Yeah, well, that song really holds up well over the years. I mean, it's a really easy listening 6.5-minute song. There's not a boring segment in it. It works on such a, you know, normally songs in that MTV era were 4 minutes maybe, but that just works, I think, and it holds up quite well. So kudos to my jazz record collector Joe for really saying that's a record that needs to be played more often. So Spandau Ballet with True, and hope you guys enjoyed this edition of Curtis Collects Vinyl Records. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for hitting the thumbs up button. That's always a huge compliment. So is the subscriptions you guys decide to make. We try to get 3 or 4 of these up every month, periodically. I think the more subscribers that I have, I think the more I feel I owe it to them to put 3 or 4 episodes up each month. So to keep things fresh, we try to take requests, and let's see, the comments down below. I'm usually wrong about what I'm talking about. Unscripted, of course, which is the way we like things down here. So if you want to comment about something about any of these records, or maybe correct your host, that's totally acceptable. And that's what the comments are below for, which is great. So thanks again for watching and listening. This was another edition of Curtis Collects Vinyl Records, and we hope to see you guys back here again soon. Thanks.